Hello, this is Heather from nearlythere.com, and I'm going to show you a peek at CreativeLive and some tips on using CreativeLive. This has a very different feel to any of the other online creative platforms that I'm going to review. As you can see in the pictures, the instructor's standing or sitting in front of a live studio audience, and they're asking questions, and this lecture-style dialogue just makes it very engaging, and it's so different from sitting and watching someone alone in a studio. And when you watch this online, you can actually watch these for free. In fact, it doesn't cost anything to make an account. So I'm going to log in and show you what that looks like as a logged in user so you can see what these classes are like.
Then fill in all the details about who.
Anytime you go to the site, there's always something being rebroadcast. And in this case, I could actually, conceivably, I think the idea is that you could watch the entire class. It's not quite true. I found that the rebroadcast will sort of stop out and say, oh, we're not broadcasting anymore. I think it's really hard to watch the whole thing. You could actually watch an entire class. If you go to the upcoming list, you'll see classes you can RSVP for and attend for free. That means, like the studio audience in that classroom asking questions, you can watch live online, and through the magic of text chat, you can ask questions and have conversation with other people in your class. And it has a really nice, warm, friendly feel to it. And it's that live experience, I guess that's why it's called CreativeLive, that make it really different. So let's look at that live chat. I attended a class with an instructor, Whippy Cake, on Grow Your Business with YouTube Marketing. And if you are viewing a live class, the difference is that you'll see this questions tab. And if you click on the chat link, it loads a pop-up window. It took me a little bit to understand this. There was a lounge that I was popped into. This is where sort of random chatter going on, friendly banter, and then the CreativeLive, which was the actual on-topic chat window where you ask questions. So you're sitting there watching with other people in your class, and over time, questions start to accrue, and the two CreativeLive facilitators then communicate with the instructor. So let's take a peek at what that looks like.
I'm blown away, actually, by all the comments and what everyone is feeling in here. This is really hitting home for people, and I love that.
It just feels really different. I mean, I actually asked a question in the YouTube marketing class, or I made a comment, and the instructor responded, and I was like, oh, I get it now. That's really what makes it different. So hopefully, of course, you'll come back to CreativeLive and you'll decide to buy a class. I'll show you what it looks like. I have some of my classes here. And when you own a class, you can actually get some downloads. And so this is a really good deal because this class happened to come with an ebook that made it so the price of the class sort of worked out a pretty good deal. And you can also see student work. And so these are other people in the class embracing the ugly and sharing some ugly work, which is really fun. And that kind of student interaction, similar to what's on Craftsy and other environments, it just means that you can feel like there's a good buzz in the class. So you're probably wondering if there's something in here for you, and we can look at the various classes that are available. I think just overall, compared to other platforms, there's a more tech feel to this. The co-founder, I think, is a photographer, so there's a lot of really good photography classes. They're obviously the most popular. And the art and design classes are focused on sometimes different software you could be using, like InDesign, for example. And it just has a more technology focused, I guess. One thing, though, I really like are the money and life courses. These are relevant to me, so it could be a big part of why it's interesting to me. But I noticed that even in the money courses, say something such as this Tara Gentile course on the pricing or business models, you might think that this might be a dry business course, and it's really not. She digs right into the heart of the matter. You know, how are you creating value for your customers? What's that service mentality that you have? What really is your worth? And when it gets down to it, I mean, some of these conversations with some of the courses, the instructor literally goes over and hugs one of the students because it's pretty deep stuff. And I love to see that kind of, emotion being displayed. It's not just dry content. Every time you're learning something, it can be a transformational experience. And it's definitely sort of what's going on CreativeLive. It makes it quite different. It's more than just here's some step-by-step things to follow. And I noticed, I'm not familiar with all these instructors, but I noticed that in terms of the credibility, these seem to pick very well-known people. Lisa Congdon, for example, is an author who's written a book on becoming a working artist. And just have a sense when I'm looking at this that these are well-known people and they really know what they're talking about. I wasn't, for example, familiar with Whippy Cake, but when I went to her site, I could see she's got a lot of experience doing the types of product videos and demonstration videos and engages her audience. And I think that anyone in the class would have been interested to find out how she did that. So I definitely would say CreativeLive is a fantastic platform. You may be noticing the prices are a little bit higher, and that's definitely something to consider. But again, in terms of like this being a step up, I think that people who may be attracted to CreativeLive are offsetting some of these costs with their business expenses. So this may be considered, business expense because you're getting training. I also think that in terms of accessibility, I can't really get a class like this local to me. And I certainly couldn't get someone like Lisa Congdon local to where I live. And so it increases accessibility. And I think even if you were in her city, this class would cost a lot more than $99. Of course, you're not going to have that one-to-one experience with the instructor. Online learning can never beat out in-person classroom training. I definitely think that. If this was a blended environment, it'd be even more fantastic. Yet, I think that for what it is and the ability to access this instructor and then contact and communicate with other people who are interested in the same thing, I think that'd be a very worthwhile investment. So that's my quick review of CreativeLive. I hope that it gave you some ideas and a few tips on getting the most out of it.